Alright, we're back. So, finally got my setup. I wouldn't say ready, but enough to show you what I'm trying to do. Do this just in case I keep looking down. So, that's what we're working with. Trying to fit it all in frame, in case you couldn't figure it out. This is a Ugly Stik Dock Runner. I think it's only like a 3-foot pole, something like that. Some measurements on here. 36 inches. Nice little handle. What's that called? Fiberglass tip. Ant on my leg. Make sure ain't no more around me, because what the heck. Okay, but yeah, this is what I'm working with. This is my little mini travel setup that I wanted to work on. So some of you might say, well, that don't look too different. Like, what'd you do to it? Yeah, I got lucky. It kind of looked almost identical. So this is what came on it. This is the Kastking. Pretty freaking close. Like, you probably won't be able to tell as much once I spool it, but it's pretty close, which is really weird. Yeah. Nothing wrong with these for the most part. I mean, for the 20 bucks that you pay for the combo, it does the job. If realistically, if you just want like a cheap combo to throw in the back of your truck to work for maybe a summer, it's fine. If you're not planning on trying to catch anything big, which they're not meant for anything big anyway, it's fine. It's just, I'm getting this for already the mindset of, I wouldn't say I'm trying to get monsters on it, but probably monsters compared to what it's actually supposed to be used for, you know what I mean? But yeah, not to mention, I wanted to try out Kastking. But yeah, I mean, you could keep this as a backup if you needed to. It's not the greatest quality. It's completely plastic for the most part. I'm trying to think if anything even is metal. Yeah, that's all plastic too. These dang bugs won't get off me. Yeah, pretty much everything's plastic, even the thing, which, how do you, yeah. Looking at it, go ahead and do this. I know I probably shouldn't be doing this on camera, because, why do I need to? But I just now had this brain fart, and I want to go ahead and get this out the way, because I'll probably take this to storage today. Okay. But yeah, that's one of the things that I do like about it, is that folds up, but realistically I've never done that other than when I'm storing them, and if they have it, like this one doesn't have it, so I wouldn't do it. But yeah, currently I'm gonna spool it up, because I haven't yet, with some 10-pound mono, just because that's what I've always used. Kastking did send me some fluoro just for making a purchase that I'm going to try out, so I'm going to take both. I know some of you will be like, oh, you should use fluoro or braid. I know. I'm not using braid just because I don't like how it feels, as far as like for the amount that I'm putting on here. Like if I was going over 10 pounds, then yeah. But right at 10 pounds, I'm not worried about it. Not to mention, I like the stretch of mono for what I'm going to be doing on this. And truthfully, I've never worked with fluoro, so I guess I'm kind of stuck in my ways. But yeah, this is going to be an all-around rig. I'm primarily going for bass and panfish, so you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be used for a lot of different things. And again, I know you'll say, well, braid or fluoro, but I've not ever had any issues using mono for years, so yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna take it out there, use it. If I end up hating the mono, I'll throw some floor on there and try it out. If I'm not mistaken, I think I could put like 120 yards on here of 10 foot, so it's pretty good considering the size of the pole. I mean, that's what, like a football field, I think. I don't know. I don't know nothing about sports, but I think it's 120 yards is close to a football field. But yeah, this is going to be, I've been telling people it's kind of like a sleeper rig, because what's even cooler is this does look very similar to what was on it. And so most people seeing this are going to be like, oh my god, this dude is coming out here with this cheap little $20 combo, and then I'm over there catching like 15-pound fish. And I know with what I'm catching, or trying to catch, I'm not going to be really getting 15-pound fish. But I also have regular hooks and stuff too for catfish. I got my weights and stuff. So if I wanted to rig up a little catfish rig, I can do that too. If you didn't watch my past video, this is the Kastking Royale Legend Glory in the 1000 size. If you can even see that. And then the 1000 right there. Everything on it is metal except for this piece here going up to here and all this. That is, I think, carbon fiber infused plastic. But again, for the price, which was like 38 bucks, and then what I'm using it for, I don't care. You know what I mean? It's a really nice reel. I mean, look at that. That's crazy for the price. It has the little switch in case you want to go both ways. I've never used them, but the drag seems nice. Like, everything about this is quality, especially for the price. Heard a lot of good things. Got lucky, like I said, and it matches. The whole black, red, and silver, white vibe. It's pretty neat. But yeah, I'm working on a similar thing for my wife. She's a spin caster kind of person, not a spinning or bait caster. So it's going to be a little bit harder because Kastking offers one option for spin casting, and it's, I think, pretty big. So I don't know, I might end up buying like a Zebco 33 or something and throwing it on for her. But I wanted something that I could do a lot with, and it wasn't going to take up a lot of space, because currently we have one vehicle. Sorry for the wind and the wind chimes, I didn't know this was going to happen. Currently we have one vehicle, and it's just a small car. And if we were to go on a trip, our bags would go in the back seat and whatnot, and these would probably go in the trunk. So, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna need space. I don't want to shove it in there and break something off. I don't want to get out and the tips broke off. Sorry. Not to mention, I'm not a two-piece, three-piece, four-piece guy. I like one-piece rods. And then in my mind, this just made the most sense. Not to mention, it's an Ugly Stik. I've been an Ugly Stik guy probably for 15 or more years. Ever since my buddy told me about them. I just love their stuff. I mean, ideally, I'm probably not going to catch it on this. If I do, cool. But I've seen people catch 80-pound fish on these little dock runners. Of course, they've upgraded the reels and whatnot, but the rod itself, I've seen it. I've literally got a guy right now in one of the groups I'm in that caught an 80-pound catfish on one of these rods. And before you say, well, it's fake, it was an actual video. Like, he showed the entire process, so it wasn't fake. So yeah, Ugly Stik is real deal. There's a video that's circling. I don't know why I said circling like it's a big deal. There's a video out there if you watch it. I can't remember. I think it's like a picture of two kids pulling the rods. But it's the Dock Runner versus the Dock Demon. And the Dock Runner does break. But if you know anything about rods and you watch the video, you'll know the reason that happened was because the kid that was using the dock runner had it at such like a ridiculous angle, of course it was going to snap. So it was more like user error than anything. But still, they had them at like a ridiculous amount of poundage before it even snapped. That's pretty crazy considering how skinny of a pole this is. But yeah, like I said, this is more of like a sleeper type rig, something that doesn't look like it's more than what it is. Like, I mean, it looks very similar to stock. So, you know, you're over there casting this thing out and people are like, this dude's literally trying to catch big bass on this. And he's, yeah, okay. And then I pull one in and they're going to be like, oh. You know what I mean? I want something that just looks normal, that I could do a lot more with than people suspect. I don't know. I just thought this was a cool idea. This is something I wanted to do for years. But the flood happened. I lost a bunch of stuff. I haven't had the money. And my wife randomly out of the blue was like, let's go fishing. So, I doubt you'll see this in time. But if you see this video and you're like, well, show me the bait and stuff too, I'll make a video on that. It's not a big deal. I'm a soft plastics for the most part kind of guy. I like zoom worms, like the finesse worms and stuff. I like zoom lizards. Usually go, I think it's lemon pepper chartreuse. Yum dingers, of course, like the black and blue, what is it, red pumpkin flake, I think it's called, black and blue Christy crawls, stuff like that. So 3/0 hooks, not the wide gap, just a regular. Pretty simple stuff. That's, for the most part, out of the top of my head, that's what I'm going to be running on this thing. I do got some smaller baits, so does the wife. She's got some like panfish type stuff. There's some very, 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 very tiny minnows that are about this big that are already pre-hooked. I think I got a chatterbait, a mini chatterbait, white, of course. I think it's Strike King. I don't think I grabbed any like real deal swim baits, like I can't think of what it's called right now. You know what I'm talking about, with the treble hooks and whatnot. I can't remember right off the top of my head. I didn't grab any of that just because I don't like messing with that stuff, truthfully. I'm going on a nice peaceful trip with the wife that I ain't done in years. And the last thing I want to do is me or her catching a treble hook somewhere on us. Just also because the wife is not a get her own fish off type person. So I had to buy some gloves, potentially for her to get her own. Or if I have to get it, I don't want to catch a hook in the hand. She can worm her own hook, but she can't take off her own fish. I don't know. But yeah, I ain't trying to catch a hook on our trip. I could pretty well handle a regular 3/0 hook, even a worm hook. But yeah, I just don't want to chance it. I've seen too many horror stories. But yeah, that's what I'm working with. In case you were wondering, which I don't think any of you were, the gear ratio on this, by the way, if you do care, because I just found it, as I'm 6 to 2 to 1 is the gear ratio for this reel. I tried to find it in the first video, I believe. Here's the pounds and yards if you care. 6 pound is 185, 8 pound is 140, and 10 pound is 120. And then they got the millimeters, but I don't care about any of that. And then obviously if you're using braid, it's going to be a ton more than if you're using mono or fluoro. Well, more than mono, because fluoro is smaller than mono as well. So there's that. But yeah, I don't know, I keep rambling because I like to talk. If you watch my TikToks, you'll find that out. This is all fake. Well, yeah. It's foam painted to look like cork. It's not real cork, but yeah. $20 combo. I do wish, before I get off here, I do wish that Ugly Stik would like take their Dock Runner series more serious. I know it's kind of like a douchey thing to kind of say because a Dock Runner is a Dock Runner. But what I mean by that is, like, I wish that Ugly Stik would kind of get more in the forums and stuff that I'm in and kind of see what people are actually doing with the Dock Runner and maybe come out with like a beefed up version. Because other than the Dock Runner, they don't really have anything else. Like, you go from the Dock Runner, you might have like a Dock Runner that's made specifically for ice fishing, I think. And then you go straight into the regular poles. Like, I wish that they would, like, this is just a basic everyday Dock Runner, right? The changed reel. I wish they would come out with like the everyday fisherman's Dock Runner. That's like an upgraded reel and a beefed up rod that's made to handle more. So it kind of would be like a purpose built sleeper rod. Because I mean, these little skinny poles do handle a lot, but they're not meant to. You know what I mean? Like, they're maxed out at like 10 pounds, I think. It's medium, 4 to 8 pounds. So yeah, it's not meant for much. So if they would come in and maybe like beef it up like a little bit through here, maybe. It's weird, a Sunday and the mail lady just drove by. I don't know. And then maybe just figure out maybe some carbon fiber or something that they could do through here. I don't know. I just think it would be neat because this is a $20 combo. Maybe offer a $40 combo. And for the $40 combo, you get a little bit better reel and a much beefier rod. Or if you know your customer, leave the exact same reel that you already do, because for the price, I can replace it. And just come out with a much nicer rod. Like, it would be neat to see, like, I forget what it's called. It's like their Carbon Light series or something. It's like one of the most expensive Ugly Stiks they make. It's black and red. It's really cool looking. It's like, what I say, like over $100 just for the rod. Something like that, but in a tiny version. I don't know. It would just be cool to see, like, you know, not all this being crappy made plastic, and, you know, this a little bit beefier. So they know, like, when they're making it, like, you can catch monsters if you need to. Because for me, it's not just about the novelty of this. It's also about the versatility, I guess, of being able to take it everywhere. I guess it's kind of the point of the whole combo, is to be able to take. It's not like it's a kiddie rod that people are using. You know what I mean? It's not made for kids. It is what it is. It's a small pole designed specifically for you to be able to take everywhere, especially if you're fishing docks. But it would be cool just to see them come out with something, like knowing what their customers and fans are using. Because I'm in a Facebook group right now, I forget what it's called. It's like Dock Runner, Dock Demon, and Ugly Small Fishing Poles or something like that. And I've seen tons and tons of people that are doing exactly what I'm doing. Well, apparently my idea was not original, because I've been wanting to do this for years. But coming up with souped up versions, and they don't do anything to the poles. They just change out the reels and then put nice line on. The rods handle it. It's just, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say QC issues, but you just never know. Like, I've seen some people that are pulling in 80-pound catfish, no problem. And then you see some people that are pulling in like a 30-pound catfish and it snaps. I guess it just depends, you know, if you end up being that lucky person. But yeah, I've done with the ramble, I guess, because it's 20 minutes as usual. But yeah, if anybody's interested about this kind of stuff, let me know. I might try to do some fishing footage while we're out, because I would like to, but at the same time, I don't want to spend my whole trip with my wife on my phone. What I may end up doing, if this works out, I might just take a bunch of pictures and maybe a couple videos, make like a mini collage, just kind of showing you what it could potentially do if it works out. Because as we all know, you can make the coolest, pimpest fishing setup and go to a spot and catch nothing. So we shall see. Until next time.